All right, you guys. So they got back to me, Tuskegee University. Shout out to them, and also the National Museum of African American History and Culture. I prefer to use the term foundational Black American, but I was able to get access to some of the audio recordings, footage, and photos of one of my favorite historical actors, like I mentioned in another video. So I wanted to share some of those with you all. These are some pretty cool pictures. So this is Mr. Carver when he was younger. This is him showing Henry Ford, I believe, his lab. And you know, the Ford family has been coming up a lot in a lot of my research, specifically those records and cataloging, like the recording and cataloging of Black ingenuity and innovation. We saw that they too were responsible for the footage with the Seminoles in Florida. So yeah, I'm gonna have to follow that breadcrumb. But another photo of Mr. Carver tending to flowers and in his lab. I just love these photos so much. They're so beautiful. And he is just so adorable to me. But unfortunately, you know, this society seeks to soften and make effeminate, especially the Black man. So I hate to use that term, but he's just so adorable. But all right, okay. So here is an audio recording where he discusses peanut production with Edgar Guest in 1937. This is this is so cool to hear. And I love boiled peanut seasons. I love peanuts and I love peanut butter. Although they say that peanut butter itself is not technically like one of his inventions, like turning it into butter in that sense. But I found a recipe book, by him, and I mean there were dozens of recipes, and so I mean I'd be shocked if he didn't think to turn it into butter. Like, I don't know. I actually want to go through that recipe book with you all too, and I think I might start a series where I just start making a lot of that stuff, but do it in like a really artistic way. Woo, child, if I got the time. But anyway, all right. Let's play this. Yes, these are on YouTube, but they're unlinked. So like you have to have permission to access these.
Answer this question,
Otherwise, I would have saved it to a playlist. Anyway, I know you are like, girl, shut up.
Your definition of science?
Mr. Guest, science is truth.
Truth. That's a fine interpretation of the word science, Doctor. I believe there are very few, if any.
Wait, what did he say? I know that's
Doctor,
right.
let me ask you this question, what is your definition of science?
Ooh, Dr. Carver, forgive me. Talking about some Mr. Carver. Lord.
Mr. Guest, science is truth.
Truth. That's a
Woo! Did y'all hear that? Get over it. You know I'm going to be talking through this. Relax. He said, Mr. Guest, science is truth. Not that science falsely so-called like the scripture talk about. Woo! I love it.
Fine interpretation of the word science, Doctor. I believe there are very few.
Not that science Linnaeus and his folk was doing. Anyway.
You, if any of us, who have not heard of your work with the peanuts, would you mind telling us tonight what prompted you to give so much time to it?
Mr. Guest, cotton, as you know, had always been our main crop. With the advent of the boll weevil, which destroyed practically the entire cotton crop, it became necessary to find something else to plant besides cotton. Besides cotton planting was entirely too hazardous to depend on as a money crop. It was then we hit upon the idea of planting peanuts and sweet potatoes to take the place of cotton.
Well, that's interesting, Doctor. I understand you increased peanut production.
That's right, Mr. Guest. But in increasing peanut production, we also had to increase peanut consumption.
Yes, of course.
This, of course, led us into searching for byproducts of the peanut. In other words, we had to find a way to put the peanut into the industrial field and not keep this out entirely dependent upon human consumption.
What are some of the byproducts derived from this peanut, Doctor?
Well, there are more than 300, Mr. Guest. But among some of these, the principal ones are flour, paint, dyes, plastics, peanut oils, and various new confections.
Just how important is this peanut industry now in the South, Dr. Carver?
Mr. Guest, In 1896, the peanut industry in the South was so insignificant that it wasn't even listed in the industrial activities of the South. Today, it is a $60 million industry.
Doctor, you mentioned peanut oil as one of the important byproducts of the peanut. Seems to me that somewhere I've heard about the use of this peanut oil in the treatment of certain diseases.
I once said, Mr. Guest, that I believe the next great medical discovery would be the efficacy of oils in the art of healing many diseases.
Well, in a measure, Doctor, you've proved this to be true by your work with peanut oil for the use of healing atrophied muscles and infantile paralysis.
Yes, Mr. Guest, peanut oil is used in the massage of atrophied muscles. Please understand that I am not a physician, Mr. Guest, but I have seen grown men carried into Tuskegee Institute who, through massage with peanut oil, have regained use of their legs and have worked out sturdy and strong.
Mm-hmm.
I have also had others come to me with either both or one leg in a brace, and still others walking with crutches or canes who have thrown them away after a number of treatments. The hard part of my job is that I must turn away many people who write to me or who call in person hoping for relief. It is not humanly possible for me to help all those who come seeking aid.
Oh, bless his heart. And yes, he was a healer in a sense, and he also had vast knowledge regarding medicinal herbs. And slippery elm is also a really great plant, the bark of that particular tree, for those who are convalescing. And there are a lot of others too that are very nutritive. But I mean, it's just amazing when you think about what this man, has discovered and invented, really. His ingenuity, gosh, just so inspiring. Ooh, that gave me chills listening to that, y'all. And I think, oh gosh, y'all, I'm at such a crosswords. I know y'all don't know me from Adam, but we all, in a sense, especially as technology is, what's the opposite of waning? Yeah, doing that. We're all carving out our own little parts of the world in this social platform or platforms, to find community and share our stories and voices. And, I came back from the doctors today after not being able to take advantage of a procedure that I had scheduled because I did not want to consent to some of the things in the consent forms. And as a pre-med student who's minoring in bioethics, I understand what a lot of that, and just even kind of the legalese within that type of stuff, and having a basic understanding of that, what I'd be consenting to. And I did not feel comfortable with that. And they were just so frazzled. And I mean, 4 different people like running around with chickens with their heads cut off, trying to figure out what to do and if they can help me and how this is supposed to work, and then reaching out to their superiors. And it's like, y'all. And then, mind you, a lot of these policies that they had in the new consent form were new. Like, she expressed to me like 5 different times throughout me waiting to hear back from their manager. And it's just like, so y'all didn't have a contingency in place for people who are not wanting to agree to this stuff, especially when it comes to artificial intelligence, which I get it, okay? Trust me. In a way, it's unavoidable, unfortunately. Like, oh God. And I just hate that it's permeating, especially healthcare and all of these systems and places where it's inescapable. But as long as I'm able to be like, yeah, I'd rather not consent, which is the whole point of this contract, it's in one way or another acknowledging that I have a right to say yay or nay. Y'all didn't consider that there might be some folk who might be like, yeah, I'd rather not consent to that. And so, not that this is surprising, but sometimes experiencing something firsthand really solidifies what you already kind of know. And I'm just kind of like seeing where all of this is going and headed, especially at the university I'm at, wanting to be the pioneers in all of this stuff. I don't know. I do not know that biomedicine is something that I want to pursue anymore. And it sucks because you you pour yourself into it. You know what I mean? And, y'all, I've always known that my path is going to be and has been very untraditional. But I feel like not only when it comes to my own health, but also just my studies and my future, I am at such a crossroads, you know? And I'm like, well, should I go into osteopathic, chiropractic, like naturopath? Like, I'm just, decisions. But agricultural science, herbalism is always going to be my first love and what I'm really, really interested in. The whole point of me pursuing medicine in the first place is because I wanted to be able to be licensed in a practice that would allow me to offer more to the people that I'm looking to serve with my herbal practice anyway. Like, I'm never going to not be a practitioner of herbalism. And so all I'm trying to do is just garner as much experience and as many skills as possible and access to resources that I can offer to give like a holistic experience to the people that I'm looking to serve, should I continue on this path and become a licensed healthcare practitioner. But it's kind of like at what cost and expense? And what am I really giving up? And just so many questions and so many dilemmas that I'm faced with when it comes to my decision. And I've got 2 years left to figure out what the heck it is I'm going to do. But I'm just like, my oh my. And I even think about like the work he's done and the things that he's created and weighing the good and bad in a lot of these things, because nothing is all good, unfortunately, and then nothing is necessarily all bad. There are definitely some things that are all bad, but y'all get what I'm saying. And it's just like there's a cost to everything, But anyway, I absolutely freaking love this. I don't understand why more of his story more often is not told and shared. Maybe I'm just not in the right places or tapped in to the right spaces. But I am super excited to go back through this system and find even more. So if I find anything interesting, I will be sure. I mean, it's all interesting, but anything that I feel like y'all would enjoy hearing, I will be sure to share that. But yes, this man was a healer and truly profound, truly profound. And he was like a incidental one, like a situational one. It's hilarious, but so cool. So cool to hear and see. Again, shout out to Tuskegee. Shout out to the National Museum of Foundational Black American History and Culture. And thank y'all for tuning in. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, share, and y'all be blessed.